is going on, people? I hope you're having a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, all over the globe. We got it popping off here. How we doing, people?
I'm good, my bro. I'm good. What's happening, my brothers? Talk to me.
Yes, sir.
I'm fantastic, amazing, brilliant, excited to be with you guys, excited to speak about what we're speaking about.
Oh, because we back like we never left. Allow us to reintroduce ourselves. Our name is MM Talks because we're talking comebacks today. We're talking the greatest, most inspirational comebacks of all time. You know them times when potentially you're watching a race and you see there's someone not right at the back and you're like, oh no, they're not gonna make it. 2 seconds later, they're in the front. It's crazy. You know, you're watching your favorite team play and they're down by 2 goals and all of a sudden 5 minutes later they're up by 1. What's going on? That's the levels we're talking about today. We want to feel inspired. We want to feel motivated. We want to know what raises your heartbeat, what gets the emotions, the intensity out. So who wants to go first with their favorite comeback of all time?
Ooh, I can go.
Oh!
They're really to play.
Yeah, okay.
On you, Fabs.
Fabs don't need to come back because he's going first.
And I'm going to say what Jen normally says. Sorry for the volume levels there because the volume levels are very high. So if you're listening in the headphones, obviously, apologies.
Turn us down in headphones.
But yeah, so greatest comeback. So my one, it's more business way because I think it's still a great comeback. And I think mine's got to be Mark Zuckerberg.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because obviously, like, you know, once you go back into the story, you go back to when he was in college, how, like, you know, his whole idea almost got stolen from him.
Yeah.
And, like, going to court, trying to actually win this thing over. And it's that whole thing, believing in the product you're doing, believing into the future and where you want to go with something. And you think, back then, it was just a place for everyone to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Facebook, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then he went from somewhere you can talk to each other to somewhere now is still one of the biggest social platforms in the world.
Yeah.
And it's what I find is that us in the UK, we don't use it so much as say and another country uses it.
Yeah.
So when I went to see my family in Australia, they use it a lot different to us, where we would use WhatsApp to message and text and stay communicated with everyone. Over there, everyone uses Facebook Messenger.
Okay, I get that.
So they've got their groups, they talk to everyone through that, and that's how they stay in communication. And I think even a lot of my European friends, like at work, they use Facebook as well.
Yeah.
Because I guess with WhatsApp, you don't need the number, you know, it's just straight when you're on Facebook Messenger. So that's obviously great things they're doing now. But for the greatest comeback, obviously for him,
I thought, story.
Yeah, for him, you know, going to college, almost losing the business, lost half the business at one point.
Yep.
Then when he thought he had it back, his closest friend went and tried to take it all from him.
Yep.
To now be one of the best businesses now, buying Instagram, you know, buying what was the other name? WhatsApp. You know, buying all of these to your own, so you're still the main dog. You're the big dog now. So someone that almost had to sold a lot of his business at first to keep it going, actually is now buying a lot of businesses to keep growing his business in over 20 years. So I think it's amazing. It's high up on the stock market as well. Yeah, I think they're almost like $1,000 a share. So
madness.
Crazy. So for me, Mark Zuckerberg, great comeback.
Yeah.
Keeping it short and sweet.
You know what? No, it's interesting because I didn't know the story of Mark Zuckerberg really until I watched The Social Network.
Yeah.
And I would recommend that movie for anybody really. It's some good acting going on in there with Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield, Justin Timberlake, all in there doing their thing. Yeah. 3 white men having a great time, which pretty much was what the starting of Facebook was Mark Zuckerberg being this creative mind, and there is something that you can credit him to as being incredibly creative, but also going after it. And this is something that I think all comeback stories have, and something that I take from the story is he goes after it. Like whatever his idea is, he's going to make it happen. He's going to push it, and if he wants to protect that thing that he's created, he's also going to have to go after that as well. So to go from just creating this weird concept in his dorm room. You know, there's that scene in the movie where he's like doing things on a window. He's like doing little equations or whatever on the window, trying to create the perfect formula to make this website, to make the platform happen, to all the way down the line, it is the most used social media platform in the world. Yeah. And like you say, some people use it as every day. And I can't lie, I go on Facebook all the time. And there are some ways where I can only communicate through Facebook. Like our American football team, we get a lot of our notifications and updates on there. So, and if we don't get it on there, we get it on WhatsApp, and that is also Facebook. So he has ingrained himself into our lives while also coming from that that situation where it could have gone any way. So yeah, I feel it.
But that's how I see it. I think like for someone to almost lose the thing they created at such an early stage, to think it's one of the number one platforms for so long, for me that's got to be a massive comeback, because
big time.
It's also takes someone strong-minded to go through what you went through, to say anyone could have said, you know what, fine, take it.
Yeah.
And we're talking about when you're in early stages, when it's nothing.
Yeah. Going up against big company as well, because it was the Winklevosses, wasn't it? The two twins, Winklevoss twins, who come from money. These men ended up being Olympic rowers, coming from money. So he was this single kid who was like, I made this thing. Let me back it. And they were like, no, we're gonna bring on millions, and we are gonna use the best rowers we can possibly pay for to make this happen. He was like, I represent myself. I'll turn up in a nightgown and I'll still beat you guys because this is mine. Yeah. I'll back it a lot.
So well, that's my one. Like what?
That was a good way to start.
I think right now everyone's just taking that in a little bit, because when you start to deep what happened, it's kind of big.
It's a lot. But you know what's time for?
What?
Fabian's 5 minutes of food. Once again, we're gonna put in a sound warning there because I know that one picked up a little bit crazy.
Volume levels.
Yes, sir. And today's Fabian's 5 minutes of food is, and this is an interesting one, because I think this one will connect to people, because I think everybody has one, and that is, what one taboo food or taboo way of having food or flavor combinations or whatever, what one taboo topic around food do you enjoy that nobody else enjoys? Now I'm gonna go first so that we can get the ball rolling. Now it's funny, now I didn't really consider this, I've never considered this a taboo personally, but every person who has seen me do it has been like, oh, this is, what is that? That's weird.
Oh, so I'm about to walk out of here.
Yeah, because actually, this is, you reminded me of it recently.
Oh.
So, so when I have an apple.
Oh no! You know what? Shout out to Surya Sen as well. He also does this, and it should be a crime.
So whenever I have an apple, you know how you see, you know how you see the stereotypical apple getting eaten all the way around, and then people throw it in the bin. They don't eat the top, the middle, or the bottom. They just eat around it and then throw it in the bin. I don't do that. I eat every last bit of the apple. The top, the bottom, the seeds, the pit, all of that. Because I like it. I like the apple. Why waste it? Every single part of the apple is edible, and the bits that aren't, they run through the body. They don't actually stick there. They don't do no trouble. So I don't see the problem. I like the flavour of apple. It's hydrating. It's a good time.
Question. So you're saying you eat the seed of the apple?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And back in the day,
we're gonna need a moment.
back in the day, like my mum or like teachers would be like, "Oh, a tree's gonna grow in your stomach." Well, they were lying, because here I am. Actually, they might have not been lying, because I feel like a tree of wisdom right now.
Jeez, okay.
So they might be right.
All right.
But that's my food taboo. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about it, or if you're gonna run onto yours.
Just don't eat too many of those seeds. If you know about, there's a little bit of cyanide in them, but not enough.
Just a little bit. I'm just creating immunity. I'm just creating immunity from the poison that is in the seeds.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in next. I'm a massive fan of peanut butter, as you guys on the podcast may already know. Now, peanut butter typically goes in a lot of places. You can have it with pancakes, you can have it with cereal, you can have it on toast. Now, where I've tried it is with a burger, within a burger. The contrast of flavours and texture, the crunchiness of the peanut butter. We don't do spring bun here. It's all crunchy. With the bun, the toasted bun, and the juiciness of the meat is incredible. And I don't want to hear nothing else. It's just incredible. If you haven't tried it, try it. I dare you to try it, and then come chat to me. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But don't chat to me until you tried it.
Fabian, are you hearing this? Are you hearing this, Fabian?
I have said peanut butter on the bun.
He said he has peanut butter on the burger. He said, replace the cheese with peanut butter.
I just said,
would you have peanut butter?
But think about relish. You'd have relish on a burger. Relish is sweet.
Yeah.
Relish has a bit of crunch to it.
No, it's not the
same. It does have a bit of crunch. Relish doesn't have a bit of crunch to it.
No, it does.
It's crispy.
It's not that yet, but the texture of peanut butter on the burger.
Crunchy peanut butter as well. The thick crunchy peanut butter.
If you could have tomato relish on it, I don't see why you could have peanut butter.
No, you're not comparing tomato relish to peanut butter. Yo, you know that was flagrant. You know that was wild.
I don't know.
Okay, you would have a peanut butter milkshake with a burger. Calmly.
Yeah.
That's different.
Oh,
bro.
no, that sounds like I made a point right
Yeah,
there.
But they're different mouthfuls. You're not out here, and don't tell me you're out here, because if you are, this is a whole different
Well,
conversation.
you don't sip a little milkshake to wash down your burger.
No, but you're telling me you eat the burger, and while the burger's still in your mouth, you sip the milkshake.
So you don't sip the milkshake to wash down your burger, because that's exactly what.
No, that's one after the other.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but
different. They're different mouthfuls. They're different mouthfuls.
So when you finish eating it, the flavour doesn't remain on your tongue. There's no aftertaste of this burger.
It's not the flavours, it's the textures. It's the textures.
Combine.
No, it's different.
Oh, we're
It's
talking about textures.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. You know what, Fabian? What are you saying?
He said, "Leave me alone. I like what I like, sir."
Don't knock it till you try it.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna try. But yeah, baby, what you want?
All right, so I'm gonna say 2, and then I'm gonna say the main one.
Ooh.
So obviously, when I was thinking about what kind of like taboos are out there, and there's always the chips and the curry sauce. Not everyone likes that, so I'm gonna call that a taboo.
Shout out to our northerners.
Yeah.
Shout out to our northerners.
Chips and curry sauce is decent.
Yeah.
And I've always thought every time I get a jacket potato, people always look at me funny because I always get beans, cheese, and coleslaw. And I think that's because some people say it's too much sauce.
I see you. I don't see nothing flagrant right now. I'm with both of them.
But my taboo one,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shout out to all the man them inside, yeah, because I learned this one from them. Very quick meal, yeah. When I say inside, you know what I mean, in your Her Majesty's establishment, but yeah. So this is a pack of super noodles, yeah, or your ramen, pack of ramen if you want to do it, right? You cook it how you want to cook it. You can either we cook it in a kettle. That's how we used to do it. Or if you're at home, you do it in a pot, in a saucepan, or put it in a bowl, put water on it, put hot water on it, and then leave the plate on top and just let it sit there, soaking all the flavours.
Okay, I'm with you right now.
Yeah.
We're on the same side. Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
But then my thing, what you do there, before you eat it, you crack open a tin of tuna and slap that straight on top.
What? No, you don't shred the tin, or you just put the tin of tuna on top.
So open a tin of tuna and slap the tin of tuna in the cooked ramen.
Yeah.
Mix that
Oh,
up.
you mix it. Okay.
And then there. But when you want a bit extra protein, I might add a boiled egg.
Wait, that's flagrant. We don't have eggs in this show. 5 yards. 5 yard penalty.
Yeah, we don't. But that's, all right, scratch the egg. I keep forgetting scratch the egg.
No, you can have the egg, bro. You can get your protein.
Yeah.
That sounds like I'm on side of that, even with the egg, because it sounds like ramen. It sounds like beginner's ramen.
Yeah.
But what I find is that a lot of people don't like it because it's too fishy.
Yeah, I can
And
see that.
when I first saw someone do it, I said, "What the hell are you doing?" Right?
Yeah.
And then I tried it. I said, "This is my new meal." Because
Yeah.
it's so quick. Because for me, like when I always on the go, so I was eat that like 3-4 times a day. So it'd be.
No, that's flagrant. No. That's the flagrant.
No. No wonder Fabian's the side he is, because he's having 4 tins of tuna a day.
With the egg.
Yeah. So like it was like boom. Okay, cool. Wake up. You get your porridge in the morning. Come back. Quick meal. That's the quick meal.
I said after the porridge.
Tuna ramen.
Because that was, it wasn't even a meal. It was more of a snack. Let me call it the snack. Because you'd eat meals and that was a snack.
Tuna is a snack.
Yeah.
With ramen.
Yeah.
See, this is why Fabian's a guy. This is why Fabian's a guy. That's why he is built the way he is.
So yeah, so for me, that's it. The ramen and the tuna, mad mix. I feel it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you look, I'm gonna put you guys on. I'm gonna put all my people on. Try once and do a tuna bolognese. So forget the mince.
I think
Like
that's
the
the
play.
flagrant.
That's the flagrant.
That's the
What's the
taboo.
flagrant?
That's the taboo.
That is
That's
outrageous.
No. Listen, to all my Albanians, to all my Albanians, that showed me this one.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you chop up your onions, chop up your sweet peppers, put that into a pan, couple tins of tuna, and then you put your tomato paste in it, your chopped tomatoes with it all, and just like you're cooking a bolognese. And then you add, listen to this, you add a little bit of like hot pepper sauce into that with an OXO cube.
Sorry, bolognese and hot pepper sauce.
That's what he
Listen,
said, bro.
Listen, I'm telling you now.
This is the taboo that we should have started.
This is that nice lean bolognese, I'm telling you.
I'm sorry to all the Italians out there. You guys have had a fantastic year with Eurovision, the Euros, the 100 metres and the 4x100 metres.
Yeah.
I'm not responsible
They
for
don't
this.
deserve this,
The
They
views
don't
of
deserve
Fabian are not represented by... the views of this show are not represented by Fabian right now, because that is outrageous.
They're saying it's outrageous here, but ramen is basically spaghetti and tuna. The one I said is spaghetti and tuna anyway. So now I'm adding some flavors to it.
No, but it's different though.
Nah.
It's different though. It's different.
You know
though.
what? Maybe we should have another evening where we try all of these things.
You know what? We're gonna do a side video. We're gonna do a side video in the coming weeks where we're gonna taste test each person's food taboo. We're gonna bring it back to this episode and we're gonna taste test. You two are gonna eat a full apple, right? That's one. We're gonna try your.
I don't think that even needs to be a taste test.
We're gonna try your. Well, we'll see if you guys can do it.
That just sounds like an animal thing. Like I'm just gonna eat the whole apple. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's what it is.
Would you guys like to see that?
Yeah, we want to know,
Yeah.
and also we want to know what your food taboo is.
Yeah, comment your food taboo below, like it, show us which one you want to see us try first, and we'll get that done with you next week. So, let's go. Anyway, I think someone needs to. What? I only said my greatest comeback.
You did. I thought Ethan looked ready to go.
I'm ready
Ethan looked ready to go.
So, the second comeback. One of the greatest comebacks of all time in my view. And from the sport I love, which is American football. So, this man, Kurt Warner, started off undrafted. That means 250, probably somewhere between 1 and 5 at the time. 255 people got drafted ahead of him. He sat at home for 3 days straight and watched players that worked hard get drafted ahead of him. He was a quarterback, for those who don't know.
Yep.
He then went to Iowa. In
That was
Iowa,
his
there's
first problem. That was his
potatoes and an arena football league team.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty sure that maybe 1% of our viewership know what arena football is, and they probably do it here.
Yeah.
Or shout out to the Warriors if you are there. So he went to the Arena Football League because he wanted to continue to play. He loved the sport so much. He believed in himself enough to get back into the league. During this time, to support himself, he was stacking shelves in the local supermarket, making $5.50 an hour. He then grafted, trained regularly, and made his way onto the practice squad of the St. Louis Rams. Now, at this time, we had NFL Europe, which is now defunct. And he was sent from America to Europe to play for the Amsterdam Admirals.
Yep.
And through his efforts and graft, he led the league in both passing touchdowns and passing yards. Now, normally, on a normal team, that might earn you the starting position. They brought him back as the backup. So he worked his way from undrafted to a backup on the team. Now, that's comeback number 1. The quarterback that season got injured for game 1 or game 2. This man, in his first year of the NFL, took his team to the Super Bowl, was a league leader in 2 passing categories, and the league MVP. With that, he formed a team known as the greatest show on turf, the Super Bowl winning team, St. Louis Rams of 1999. Now that's comeback number 1, number 2 when you want to see this. Over the next few years, he suffered from injuries. They brought in players to replace him. He suffered with inconsistent performance. And he was dropped by his team. He was dropped by the Rams. He then was picked up by the Giants, who had just drafted Eli Manning, who later won 2 Super Bowls. So you already know that that didn't last long. He played for 2 or 3 games and then got dropped again. So this man went undrafted, got dropped by the team that gave him a chance, and now has been dropped again. He then gets picked up by the Arizona Cardinals. Again, off to a good start. Suffered with injuries, consistently injured throughout the season, with a series of sporadic play. Now, this is 10 to 12 years into his career. Most players don't make it longer than, I think, 3 years, right?
Yeah, I think it's literally 1 to 3 years.
1 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So he has been battling injuries for the first 10 to 12 years of his career. Several setbacks, resilience out of this world level of resilience. Then entered into a QB competition with another youngster, a Matt Leinart, who, as you know now, hasn't had the greatest career, but he was battling. He said, this guy is ahead of me. He went through surgery after surgery and then took his team to the Super Bowl again, leading the team in every single game, having another MVP caliber season, and they were one play away from winning the Super Bowl. Boom. At the end of the next season, where he loses to the Saints, as they go on to win, he then comes back and has another brilliant season. He had to have arthroscopic surgery, which is where they drill into the knee and do keyhole surgery to repair it. And he came back again and had another MVP caliber season. This man, in total, in 14 years of playing, I count on my hand, he had 10 separate times in which he either had to come back from injury, being dropped, being undrafted, or just being disrespected. Now, that level of mental resilience is incredible. If you haven't heard the story of Kurt Warner, I implore you to go and read it, to go and watch him speak about it. This man instilled faith in him and in the rest of his team. If you were on a team with Kurt Warner from any period between 1999 and 2009, you believed that you had a chance to make it to at least the playoffs, if not the Super Bowl. That's his story.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, every time you hear it, every time I hear his story, I'm like, this man could not catch a break. Yeah. Not a single time was anyone just like, yeah, here, have the thing. Just go and have it. He had to graft and graft and graft. Like you say, stacking shelves, to playing in Amsterdam. And this is no disrespect to the European game at all, because I love it. It's a part of who I am. It's not the same as the NFL. This man had dreams and aspirations, right? And he went from that to this side where he's like, I'm going to keep going. He didn't look at it as, oh, I'm not where I want to be. He looked at it as, I'm going to get to where I want to be. And it's that build-up of resilience, endless resilience, regardless of what the challenge was. He clearly never said no. Yeah. He never said stop. He never said, I quit. He said, how do I get there? He said, how do I make it? Not, I can't make it. And it's powerful, because now this man has a yellow jacket. This man has a Hall of Fame jacket by saying, I will never give up. I will never quit. He wears going to Amsterdam as a badge of honor. He wears stacking shelves as a badge of honor, saying, this is my journey. He was never too good for anything. He was never too good for the grind. And that journey is wild. It's wild.
One thing I'd like to add is that in your first year of the NFL, experiencing so much success can go to your head very easily. That big breakthrough in such a way can be overwhelming for you. You are the guy in St. Louis. St. Louis is not a huge place, so you are the superstar immediately. You get granted this big contract, and then for the next 7 years, life doesn't go your way. You have to battle every single day after having such success. Now, for him to go back to a Super Bowl years down the line and not allow that success to get to his head and to keep driving is incredible, and something that I would like to do. Once you experience that first stage success, it's easy to take your foot off the pedal. He kept going full throttle.
You know what? I also want to talk about a comeback story in there that clearly wasn't spoken about enough. That's his surgeon. Because his surgeon clearly had to go through a lot to keep fixing him up and then putting him back on that football field, right? Because that was a magical thing.
Like, his story is like, it's mad. Like, when you sit there and like you go through year by year what someone went through, and it's that whole thing like we always say, it's like, don't look at now. Like, see the journey. Like, it's only temporary. Like, you look at players like, you know, Odell Beckham always getting injured. If you look at Saquon Barkley getting a big injury last year, they could have quit. But no, it's alright, it's time to get to work. Like, even we talk about the Cowboys QB.
Dak Prescott.
You know? Terrible break. But he's coming back.
And he's looking good.
And that's the whole point. I think it's like, we're just talking about football here, but it goes in all aspects of life. Like, it's not just, you make a comeback there. It's okay, you got 5 from your job. Alright, we're not going to sit at home for the next 3 weeks and say, oh my god, I ain't got no job. Let's go get another one.
Let's go get another one.
I like that. That's it. And it literally's got to be like that through the whole way of life. So that one there, massive. And thank you for even playing it out. Because some people don't know who that is. So definitely search up and see who that is. And take it in.
Big from Kurt Warner and big from Durag Canes over there. If you guys didn't notice, we had the return of Durag Canes.
The Durag Canes is back in the building.
He's on their savagery, as we just understood there. So now this leads us to our final question of the day, and our final question of the day is, and it's a big one. I quite like this one. This one I've been thinking about for a while. I've been gearing up to it. So and you know what? It's perfect because you guys have both got the sauce on today. You got it on 100, so it's going to be a great one. So the question is, there was a zombie apocalypse, and you were stuck in a skyscraper, a big old tower, right, to survive. You had 3 people to survive this hellish zombie apocalypse with. What 3 people who are alive today? What 3 people would you choose?
Oh no, I am ready to go.
Hands up.
This one, yeah. As soon as you asked, 2 people instantly sprung to mind.
Ooh.
And the first person is so if you don't know anything about me, I used to be a scout. Now this person is a fellow scout, but not only is he a fellow scout, he is a scout leader.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have a gold scout award, which I'm incredibly proud of, which this man signed, and that is Bear Grylls. If we're talking about survival, we want the man who is known for survival shows. This man will go to any length to survive, as we gathered from him on the boat. I'm not going to go into much more detail on that because we're going to keep it PG up here. But this man takes people such as Barack Obama and public figures and shows them how to survive in the real world and survive out there. He's number 1. He will have all of the techniques and methods which he has studied meticulously for years. Yeah. He's a layup. He's the layup on my team.
Yeah.
Next up, we have got someone who is known for his energy and his passion, but also from the flavours that he brings to the table. And I'm not talking about Fabian right here. I am talking about the chef Gordon Ramsay. Now, if we're dealing with food like spam and beans and cans, you want someone that can bring flavours. And again, I'm not talking about Fabian. This man is... He is food. When you think about famous chefs in this world, you think of Gordon Ramsay, almost first on the list. Maybe some people think of Jamie Oliver, Antonio Carluccio. He's eponymous with food. Synonymous, not eponymous, with food. He can make anything taste good. He is a go-getter. Yeah. He travels. He has experienced the world, but also the way that man brings anger, I want him swinging baseball bats, shooting straps. I want him protecting me from those zombies. And then, depending on the type of zombie, it could be a pig zombie, chefing it up, because we can do something like that. We're not going to eat the humans, though. And then finally, it has to be a local hero. A man with a gold medal and a silver medal round his neck. This is Mr. Alex Yee.
Yeah, shout out Alex Yee, baby.
Blueborough, stand up. Yeah.
Alex Yee is from Lewisham, more specifically Brockley. And if you go through Brockley, they have a mural on the wall, which they have updated to show the gold medal there. Alex Yee won the relay triathlon, as well as coming second in the men's triathlon. Yeah. He has stamina. He has drive. Yeah. He's also small in stature, which means he's not going to take up food. Yeah. If we need someone to deliver a message to the outside world, tell me a zombie that's going to catch this man. He will outswim you, outrun you, and outcycle you. That's my top 3 is going places. Yeah. It's delicious. Yeah. I'm ready to go. I'm fired up right now.
He's like, I'm surviving. No matter what, I'm surviving.
For real. And you know what? I think genuinely, one of our goals on this podcast to get Yee on this podcast, because that is, first of all, one of the most versatile athletes out there in the game. He represents Blueborough like all of us do, and he represents greatness. So yeah, Yee, shout out to you first of all, and shout out to your team, because that team is deadly. You know, one thing I would say is, I'm not sure I would want Gordon Ramsay on my team, because what I don't want is in the middle of, madness. He's just like, what are you doing, you idiot? I wouldn't want that.
I'm glad that you said that, because I had a little caveat that I prepared. Yeah. I was born on a leap year. Yeah. Which means I'm only 6 years old. And as we all know, Gordon Ramsay doesn't shout at children. And I'm ready and I'm prepared to use that at a moment's notice.
I love it.
That's the good one. I like that a lot. I'm gonna take mine next. Because I thought about mine, and there was one that for me was, like you say, a layup that was just straight in the net, no problems, and that is Stacey Abrams. Do you guys know who Stacey Abrams is? So Stacey Abrams is a politician in Georgia. Right, went for governor of the state, didn't get it, but didn't give up there. Coming back to our comeback story, right? But what Stacey Abrams is incredible at doing is, one, recognizing the people who deserve help and support and deserve to be uplifted, and two, uplifting those people, right? So in the last general election, the election in the US, the presidential election, Stacey Abrams helped get over 800,000. Stacey Abrams and organisations that she was connected to helped get over 800,000 people registered to vote in situations where they really were not
supported, let's say, by the government to vote, right? This is a human being who is a leader naturally, who naturally cares for people and thinks about the best ways to represent those people and to get them to where they need to go. That sounds like somebody I want on my team.
I see where you're going with this.
That sounds somebody I want on my team, right? She would be
the brains right now.
Do you know what I mean? She would be able to lead whoever we come across, right? But also potentially, with how charismatic and how strong she is, she might be able to convince the zombies to actually leave us alone. She if anybody can do it, Stacey Abrams can do it. So one, she's an incredible leader. She's got great personality. She's done a TED talk as well, so she's charismatic.
It's a fantastic TED talk.
It's a fantastic TED talk. Check it out. So Stacey Abrams is nothing but net. That's a 3-pointer from me. That is no problem whatsoever because she is fantastic. Number 2 is the incomparable, the GOAT, the greatest athlete of all time, Simone Biles. Yes, sir! First of all, it comes back to your point about Yi, that she's a small in stature athlete, right? It's not going to take much to feed her, to keep her good and up and running. But also, that small stature means she can get through air vents. It means she can get through those small spaces that you might need to do to get out, to escape, right? She can make that happen. But then finally, she's the greatest athlete of all time, right? She is the greatest gymnast ever. If we need her to catch something high, she can do that. If we need her to jump off a wall to get to somewhere else, she can do that. She can do all the things that we possibly athletically would need if we need to find food in a hard place to get to, if we need somebody to be able to distract the zombies and escape. She would never get caught, right? The second they think they got it, she would do some crazy 360-degree flip over them and they would get lost! They would be absolutely bamboozled. But also, something that's really important about Simone Biles is she knows how to take care of herself. Recently, she backed out of a few competitions at the Olympics because her head wasn't in the right space. To have that level of self-awareness in the most pressurized moments, in moments when everybody is looking at you, she still was able to be calm, be in the middle of the storm and control it. To be able to do that, I am blown away. She would keep a cool head in any situation in this zombie apocalypse. She would be so calm under pressure. I love it. Absolutely. And then finally, the final person for me, right? I've picked up 2 very serious people here, right?
Yeah.
A politician and the greatest Olympian of all time, right? So the final person I'm going for is the Irish talk show host, Graham Norton, the comedian himself.
That's a good one.
I have got very serious people in there, right? I want somebody to bring joy. I want somebody to be funny. I want somebody to bring the energy. And also, he's Irish. Irish people have some of the best crack. And by crack, I mean conversation. They talk incredibly well.
Yep.
They would be able to keep us entertained. They would be able to, I think also, he would be able to potentially, talk to the zombies. He's so captivating and good at talking. He seems, when you see these Americans go on the Graham Norton show, and they talk for hours and hours, but then you'll see them on another talk show and they don't even talk at all. Graham Norton has a way of getting something out of people, of getting people. He can get the zombies to laugh and to maybe listen to us.
I'm excited just to hear Graham Norton's one-liners. For those of you who watch Eurovision, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He is always on the money, on the ball. He's a fantastic host, and every single time I see him, he brings joy to the people around him, but also a lot of joy to me. So that is fire. But also, I want to go back to Simone Biles and taking care of herself. That is just amazing. But also, she came back. We're talking about comebacks today. She backed out of 2 events that she wasn't mentally in the right place for, and then came back and achieved a bronze, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think my team's pretty solid. I think I'm very happy with it. Fabian, let's hear your team, bro.
Alright, cool. There's a few people I kept wanting to switch, but I ain't gonna switch it. I'm gonna keep it the 3 I got. I'm gonna hit hard.
I'm excited for this one.
Alright, so I'm going with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Ooh, if you smell.
Yeah, because I'm at the top of the skyscraper, and I might bulldoze my way halfway down, but I need a bit of backup guy to bulldoze the rest of the way down.
Yeah. You two are a bad combination. I
So
can't lie.
I'm thinking you know what? Yeah, that's the front too. So we good right there.
He's also in a movie called Skyscraper.
Exactly.
So it's
if
a
anyone was
perfect
gonna get me down a skyscraper, it's gonna be the guy that actually had to do it.
Yeah, it's true.
So I'll get him. And then my second choice that came to mind when you started talking about small spaces and cool, I'm thinking and then you was talking about the zombie pig. Why not have someone that one can talk to animals or control animals very well, and maybe get animals to go in these small places?
Okay.
So, who else but the real life Tarzan?
Oh, the real Tarzan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You
But
know
also,
what I mean?
he's wham as well.
Exactly.
He's got wham, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, he's wham, but it's a case of I don't need you to, like, that's a backup.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
first you're going to see that, but this guy's going to have a snake running on.
Yes.
He might be walking with a tiger on, like, yeah, we good. Like, we good. Set the tiger
Bring
in
the
there.
crew.
Yeah, bring the crew. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, yeah, I need you up there with the crew, because if you might be able to, like, you know, we might see a zombie dog and be like, listen, control that.
Yeah.
And you have all the eagles as
This is
well.
what I'm saying. See? So we lit right now,
You
you
can
know?
go get birds to go and collect food as well and bring it back to you.
Exactly, you know?
Oh.
Birds of prey go, hey, what's that down there? Yeah, go get me that.
That's a great choice.
So-
I think you thought out of the box that
Yeah,
time.
so he had to be my second choice. And then to keep the mood light and sweet, I thought Kanye West. Yeah. So got to have Kanye West there, because you know Kanye West would be in there and he'd be saying something stupid like, damn man, why are we all fighting for, man? How you know they the zombies? We might be the zombies. Okay, let's go get eaten. You know? So he might do some stuff like that and I'd be like, hey Kanye, chill. You just chill.
You know Kanye would be in there trying to sell his new zombie apocalypse boots to the zombies.
You
bro.
know, like we might see some zombie that's been walking around for like 3-4 years, right? Come, he goes, I like the jumper they wear. Like the rips, the smell of it, it just goes. And I'm like, yeah, chill. We in the apocalypse right now, man. Let's get it going. So, so I think it'd just be cool. I think it's great, free people, and I thought, yeah, man, I think I'm covered. Like I said, I think the real life Tarzan and just even Dwayne Rock Johnson, I'd be good with.
Yeah.
This music video that you're making is about to be lit. You've got zombies in the skyscraper with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Yeezy doing his thing.
Yeah.
You looking like the swaggering.
Eagles and snakes and alligators in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, we looking lit.
Yeah.
That's something.
We looking lit.
Yeah, that's wild. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that takes us to the final bit, which is my favourite comeback of all time.
Final comeback.
Let's get the final comeback.
Give the people what they want.
We got 21 seconds to go.
Whoop.
So, have you guys heard of a company called Timely Comics?
Not heard of that.
No.
Interesting.
What's Timely Comics?
Well, it's funny. Timely Comics started out as this small comic company, right?
Okay.
And the first character they ever came out with, they came out because they were inspired by Detective Comics, which is DC Comics, and they got Superman. You heard of him?
Yeah.
They got
Superman.
Batman. You heard of him?
I like Batman.
Batman. These two are two of the greatest and most known names in the world. Not just superheroes, but names. Like you say Superman anywhere in the world, most chance you're gonna get a good response, right? And this other company started called Timely Comics that they wanted to do the same thing, and so they introduced a character whose whole ability was they turned on fire and then they flew, and that was their ability, and they were called the Human Torch, right? And it was doing okay, and they were like, what's the opposite of that? Somebody who lives under sea. So they created the Submariner, now known as Namor, right? And it was somebody who just lives under sea and is a superhero with the sea.
Yeah.
And then the third character they created was this blonde-haired, blue-eyed American savior. Okay. And this person, their first ever comic, the cover photo is them knocking Hitler out, because this came out in 1941, and literally punching Hitler in the face, and that did really well. And the name of that character, I'm sure you can guess.
Oh, what was it?
Captain America.
Wow.
And so Timely Comics is actually Marvel Comics, is what it became.
See that
You didn't see it! Oh, no! I never read it. And so Marvel Comics started off their time really unsuccessful. Those three heroes, I mean, Captain America is really successful today, but at the time it was just kind of seen as a bit of a teacher's pet, shall we say? Yeah. When you look at Superman, who could literally fly across the universe and turn back time by flying around it, and Batman, who is the
power from the sun.
Cool, but Batman, who is also the coolest superhero of all time. Yeah. Of all time, Batman is just really cool. If you compare that with a guy who can turn on fire and fly, a guy who lives underwater, you can't really connect with those. You can't really, there's nothing there. And so for a long time, Marvel Comics was seen as this kind of childish thing. And then in the 50s and 60s, comics got really bad reputation. They actually got a reputation of kind of like what hip-hop had in the 80s and 90s, in that it was like seen as just kind of being really dangerous for young people, as being a really bad influence, as in like these kids are going to try and be superheroes and stop listening to people. And so it started to fall apart again. And they had a little bit of a resurgence in the 70s and 80s. Characters were coming through because of an incredible human being, and the human beings they brought in called Stan Lee. Now when Stan Lee first started in the 30s and 40s, he was a gopher. He would go and get coffee, he'd go and get tea, he'd go for anything that he was asked for, right? But by the 60s and 70s, he was running the show. And the reason why he was running the show was because he had incredible ideas. He had characters, he came up with characters, and he didn't do it alone, but I'm just kind of putting him as the figurehead, right? But he came up with characters like Spider-Man, the X-Men, Black Panther. These are characters who, one, have a real life struggle, and two, are incredibly deep and have stories that you really want to follow. He created the X-Men as a representation of the civil rights movement. Literally, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X is Professor Xavier and Magneto. That's literally who they are. And he did that. Instead of having this superhuman who's powered by the sun, he created these mutants who were being segregated, and he tried to connect it to real life situations, right? So he picked it up a little bit, but then in the 90s, they went bankrupt. In 1996, they filed for bankruptcy. Wow. And they had no idea what to do. You had all these incredible names, but they had no idea what to do. And then the genius hit. They merged with The Toy Company. It was called The Toy Company at the time. And they started to sell their properties as movies. And this is when incredible movies like the first X-Men set of movies, the first Spider-Man movies, all started to kick off. And it started to revitalize not just Marvel, but the whole comic book industry. Literally, because of those few movies, and Blade, which came just a little bit before it and is one of the greatest superhero movies and one of the first proper superhero movies. Those movies there, without those, we don't get Iron Man. Yeah. We don't get Infinity War, which we spoke about on one of our most recent, Endgame. Those great movies that we now see. Because of that initial point, we then get all of those incredible movies, which are the catalyst of creativity and energy and a space in which we can all be free. You can watch those movies and be free and feel love and joy. And because of that, the comic books themselves have now been reimbursed with incredible amounts of money and readers, and it has brought on a whole new society. There is now a massive, massive culture around comic books that hasn't seen that level of popularity since the 90s. Yeah. And so my greatest comeback is Marvel going from, first of all, being the little guy on the scene when DC was running the show, then to filing for bankruptcy 25 years ago, to now being owned by the biggest media creator in the world, Disney, and also having the highest grossing movies of all time. Yeah. So that's my story.
That's a great one.
And it's a great one as well, because we all follow Marvel very, very much. So, and it's that whole thing I was saying before, is seeing where something starts to where it goes. Yeah. People have to believe. Like, it's like, we talk about all that cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. It's like, people say, oh, Bitcoin's going to go 100k or whatever. It's like, so many people are so quick to say, oh, no, it's not. Yeah. But it's like, 25 years ago, if you say about, like, Marvel saying about how we're going bankrupt. Yeah. Imagine a guy coming to saying, stay right here, because in 10, 15 years' time, you're going to have the most gross movie of all time. Yeah. And you're talking like hundreds of millions as well. Yeah.
Billions.
Yeah, well, billions. And that's the whole thing. It's like, I guarantee you, there could be 10 people in that room and 8 of them like, no chance. Yeah. Because you can't see the future. That's the whole problem. Like, people don't understand you can't see the future. You just need to believe in yourself and let things take time and let it take its place. Because they always say, like, 5-10 years, you see real change.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Marvel, at the time in 1996, were selling their furniture just to keep writers being paid. They were selling chairs so that they could keep hiring writers to make stuff. They had to sell Spider-Man, the most successful superhero of all time. They sold him to Sony. They sold Spider-Man to Sony! Imagine selling your child to Sony. I don't want to sell my child to Sony. They did that. Yeah. And now, Spider-Man is back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Spider-Man is back where he belongs. So yeah, it is a story of belief. It's a story of holding true until the last second without giving up. Yeah. And I think that's the point where we end it. Guys, you have any final pieces of wisdom, of information, of anything that you want to drop to the beautiful listeners and viewers?
You know what? Find what your greatest comeback is. Yeah. Like, the whole thing about this, we talk about all these great comebacks, but we all have our greatest comeback. We all come back from something. Yep. Me and Jed, we've come back from ACL tears. You come back from going to uni and having struggles finding the right uni. Yeah. Like, there's so many different struggles we all go through. Find your way back. Yeah. Because there's always that time when you think it's over, or like it's ended, or you can't come back from something. Well, guess what? That place could have been 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So you've made your way back. You're making your way forward. It's true. So continue to do that and be the best you.
I will say, if you suffer from those setbacks and you work hard and you get back to that point, take a moment to appreciate the magic of that moment.
Yeah.
Because you have worked hard, you are going in the right direction, and you deserve to celebrate your own personal success.
Yeah.
I mean, Jed wrapped up the episode splendidly, and the questions have been fantastic today. As always, I love to hear from you guys, your stories, what your taboo foods are, who would you love in this skyscraper, and what your greatest comeback is, what great comebacks are you going to write in the next 2 years.
Exactly. And with that, guys, wherever you are, we love you, we hope you are shining, and we are over and out.